I think there's always a balance. And, I think it's always about, respect of the guys around you as much as anything we've seen the greats, Tom Brady's and those kind of guys get up in people's face and demand a certain level of or standard every time you step out there. And we look at that as a competitive edge. Then we hear about other guys doing that, and some people, might get offended. And so I think there's so many things that go into it. I think it's how you do it. I think it's the respect that you've earned. I think it's the players that you're around is understanding how to motivate and how to get the best out of those guys. But when you hear stories like that, to me, it's never something you can speculate about. That's something that has to be worked out amongst teammates. I would have to hear certain things from both sides to really be able to draw any kind of conclusion on what does that mean moving forward. But, it's amazing to me that, a little over 12 months ago, we have a young quarterback that's probably our league MVP that's tearing it up. Everything in Philly is great, and this is the best coaching hire, and this they got the right guy at quarterback. He suffers an injury, and things kind of go a different direction. And just over 12 months later, we're talking about how, oh man, this thing is falling apart in Philly. I think everybody just needs to take a deep breath. I think Carson, needs to take a step back. I think he felt pressure this year to have to live up to what Nick and what this team accomplished last year and prove to everybody that he can win a Super Bowl too. And that's never a place to play. When we lost to the Patriots 17 years ago, we were a really, really good football team. We came back the next year and we lost, I think, our first 7 games the next year, because we were trying to prove to everybody what happened in that Super Bowl was a fluke. And when you do that, people are too talented, teams are too talented, there's too much parity, that usually you take a step backwards when that happens. That, to me, is what I felt happened to Philly this year. They need to relax. They need to get away from what's happened the last couple of years, regroup, and put the product back on the field that we saw just over 12 months ago, and I think they're going to be fine.
Just staying with the quarterback personality thing, you probably weren't described totally that like a type A plus guy. So what worked best for you? Because why were you able to effectively get the locker room to play for you?
Well, I think the first thing is always you have to show people with your actions, not your words. So for me, it was always holding people accountable by, doing those things, showing up first and showing them how to work, showing them what it looked like in a meeting room, showing them how to prepare, showing them what practice needed to look like and what you expected from yourself. And then it kind of bleeds into other people going, okay, that's what we need to expect. If our best players are doing this, then we need to expect that from everybody that steps into the building. And then it really becomes, to me, leadership is all about, there's not one model on, hey, this is who I am, and so this is how I lead. For me, it was about understanding how to lead the different men that were in that room, the different backgrounds they had, what motivated them, what wouldn't work from a motivational standpoint. And so it was learning the locker room, the landscape of who was in there, and what I needed to do for each and every player or for each and every group to make sure that I was leading in the correct way and that I was getting the best out of the players, because not everybody was the same. Some guys you could get in their face and yell at them and it motivated them. Other guys you do that to them and they shrunk back because they never wanted to be in that setting. So some guys you had to pull aside on their own and go, okay, here, let's talk about this situation. And so that to me is, I think, what leadership is all about, is understanding the people you're trying to lead, the people that you want to follow you, and what motivates each one individually. And then at the same time, what you have to do to show them what it looks like. Because a lot of people, they need to see it as opposed to just being told, and that's where they'll fall in line and be able to follow.